Hey guys, Adrian here with Sheroes and Shenanigans. I wanted to put out an invite to get deeper into a couple conversations. So I have a couple questions for you. One is, are you experiencing a shift where things are different, things are shifting, people are coming at you and kind of going through the same things in life, or they're feeling a certain way various days, and there's kind of like this energy shift, and it's not always good. It's not always good. Sometimes it doesn't feel so good. But you're unsettled. There's an unsettling to it, like not knowing what it's coming to tell you, or why it's in existence at all, or what happened to just this ease of flow. Sometimes there are these greater hills in the roller coaster that we're going up and down. And so I wanted to invite you to a couple different groups. If you know that you're experiencing the shift and you're really, really working on it and doing your best to kind of just attract the light, then there's one group I have that's with Sheroes and Shenanigans and the other ladies, and it's called Optimize Joy. And then there's another group where if you're not really sure, you feel something and there's a curiosity about it, but it's hard to handle, man. Some of those lows are really, really low, and they're somewhat hard to get through because the light can't even be seen yet. The light at the end of the tunnel, right? It's kind of even just hard to find that from time to time. So if you're experiencing that, then there's another group that's called Breakthrough Invisible Barriers. And so there's going to be different topics provided in each of those groups. One of them is going to be just, when you hit the downtime, how do we get out of it quick? And the other one is more like, if you've hit the down and you have no idea what it's really telling you, then we kind of need to break through that barrier and figure out what the listening needs to be of it. So feel free to reach out to me if you're interested in either one of those groups. And while I'm driving, then let's see, let's do a topic today. Today, let's talk about shame. Shame. So there's guilt, and then there's shame. Guilt is more related to what you do. Things that you do, whether or not you label them good or bad, or if they work or don't work. And guilt is sometimes the feeling that you take on when you feel like what you've done didn't really work. And then there's shame. Shame can stem from whether or not you did something that made you feel guilty on purpose, or it can also stem from the guilt has taken such a toll that there's actually been a different meaning applied to it entirely, which is now it isn't what I did wrong, it's that I am wrong. I'm wrong for the job, I'm wrong for this life, I'm wrong for my family, I'm wrong, or maybe it took on I'm bad, I'm a bad person, it's all my fault, if I wasn't here none of this would happen. So guilt and shame are totally different levels of a very deep darkness that resides in us all, and we all have a certain amount of it. And I know it's been said over and over again, but there really is no escaping this. There's only bringing light to it. So in this process of humanity, we've kind of all, back 20 years ago, even when I started teaching yoga in Florida, it was still questionable. What are you doing? That's a religious thing, and I'm Christian, I'm not into that religion, and whatever, there were all of these different just backlashes, or I was just a hippie. I was a crazy hippie. So anyway, and so far, within the last 20 years, it's really expanded. It's so many different people have actually taken it on. Meditation has become really big over in the Western world, and yoga has as well. And there's all of this consumption of light, follow the light, look to the light, attract the light, all of that kind of stuff. But the thing is that when there's been darkness and heaviness that has been built inside, which is imperative that it happens. Like to collect that darkness is so important, because the darkness is what upholds the light. The darkness cannot, or the light can't even know itself without the dark. All right? And yet at the same time, to pull some of that darkness into the light is also imperative. Because if you just had light all the time, you would just be an egotistical asshole, probably. Because you would just be like, I'm the best, I'm a rock star, or whatever. But to bring some of that pain, some of that darkness of the guilt and shame that we've had, throughout our lives into the light actually breeds a compassionate light. So that we can have compassion for others, and we can see where their pain lies in reflection to ours. And then at the same time, once that light is so filled, right? It's big and huge. And it's almost come to the point of like a spiritual bypassing, which I never knew how to explain this. My cousin was talking to me about it, and it's basically when you almost don't acknowledge the depth and the dark that's there. You're just collecting light. Like, let me cover it up with light. Let me cover this up with light. Let me cover this up with light. But the thing is that's not the point. The point is not to collect so much light that you cover up the dark. The point is to collect so much light that you have now accepted and forgiven and loved so many, and then to take that light and bring it into your depth, bring it into your darkness, to your guilt, to your shame, to your hurt and your pain. To bring that light into your depth is kind of what's actually happening now. People are starting to kind of realize and wake up to, wow, there's a lot of depth in here. And I, by the way, don't want to explore it. Why? Because it hurts. There's pain down there. I don't want to go in there. It's not fun. But that's really the only way to really get complete and whole. To really be whole as a person is to actually bring some pain into the light, so that the light can be compassionate, and bring some of the compassion into the dark, so the dark can be forgiven. And without both of those running, then we cannot express ourselves wholly or fully, and that is what is so important. And it's hard bringing the light into those depths, because it's a lot of inner work. But the thing is it doesn't have to be that hard, and it doesn't have to take that long. And the thing that takes the longest and the thing that is the hardest is accepting that you're experiencing it. Removing the denial that it exists. That's the hardest thing, and that's what takes the longest, is is the unwillingness to really say, you know what, everything might look great on the outside. I've got everything that I want. You know, I've been as successful as I possibly can, and I'm making all of this money, and I have all these toys, or, you know, great wife, great husband, great kids, or whatever. Like, so many different things that you look around and go, you know what, I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful for all of this. And that's great. That's wonderful to be so thankful for all of that. But at the same time, are you actually, with that gratefulness and thankfulness, are you actually covering up something? Is there something that you're really not wanting to look at, that you're not really accepting yet, or that you're not willing to admit that maybe internally, while everything might look excellent on the outside, internally, there's something in here that's kind of nagging at me still? If that's you, then join me. Let's open up some conversations about that, you know? Just send me a message or write on the page and just let me know that you'd like to be part of the group, you know? And let's start having some conversations about it, because it's really important to explore that, because that is what's stopping you from feeling free every moment of every day. It's really the thing that's stopping you from getting out there and really playing at life again, like it's a very fun, exciting game, the best game we have. You know, so yeah, hit me up, let me know, because it took some time, you know. I've hit a couple of those low points, and the thing I will say is that it's so nice to actually, you know, be able to kind of connect and share stories, because you end up realizing that this is all it's just a process, and there's no right or wrong to it. There's no good or bad to it, and you don't have to do it alone. You know, we can have conversations about it and share stories and find the fun in it again, because, you know, getting in there and really going through all of that mess is actually like, wow, that was actually kind of fun. I mean, it sucked a little bit and it hurt a little bit, but it was fun to get to know me on that level. You know, some of those things that just maybe I've been spiritually bypassing about myself, not really wanting to admit that there's a bit of icky, low-lying, and maybe that low-lying icky is holding me back at what I really wanted to do with my life, what I really came here to do with my life, or, you know, holding me back from just really loving my life, you know, not just collecting things, but actually having the ability to enjoy them as well. All right, I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.